Oh, no, Tim, guys.
Oh,
We are live.
we are.
Jody, Nathan, welcome back to the
Wow.
Can-Am Connection. How
What's
are
up,
you guys
everybody?
doing?
I was about to do my best Bruce Buffer impression there, but bad match.
Doing pretty good. Back in town after a quick trip to California, so I'm doing good.
So your daughter graduated from
Long Beach State,
what you get a degree in?
kinesiology.
Ah, okay.
Wow.
So she graduated a couple years ago at North Carolina State, or I'm sorry, North Carolina A&T with her bachelor's in sports psychology, and then she moved across the country to Long Beach State and got her master's in kinesiology. So life is good for her, and I'm proud of it.
So she can fix your brain and put some kinesiology tape on you and hopefully take some pressure off some spots.
I hope so, for free discount.
She can give you training advice and get your mind right as well.
Make you
Yes.
to where you just hate everybody when you get to the table.
You might have to, you know.
What
But,
a great segue, because we were just talking about Jocelyn's mindset going
Yes.
into that round robin.
Well, let's jump
Yeah.
into it then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I absolutely love it. Like, we can be friends after the event, but during that time, I don't like you. I don't like any of you. Like, why would you?
That reminded, she takes it a little bit further. She doesn't talk to anybody that she's competing
Yeah.
against. She does not communicate with them, and they are the
It's kind
enemy.
of like it's very Saunders-esque, right? She says she puts her music on. If you ever see Saunders before any of his at Europeans, at Worlds, at super matches, what's he do? He gets off the table, puts his headphones on, goes right back into his zone, takes them off, goes, pulls, headphones back on, goes. Like,
Yeah.
It's a great mentality.
Now, I ran into that once. The first time I ever ran into it was with Marcio, but he can switch it on and off a little bit more easily. So what happens was with him was he's like the nicest guy in the world until you're walking to the table, and then he hates you, and it's very clear that you are not his friend at this moment. And it was almost unsettling the first time I experienced that with him.
Do you think it kind of put you off?
A little bit.
Like mentally in the match?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Did he win or did you win?
I actually won. I won. Okay, this was at the World Championship. I won the first match we had on fouls. We locked right at center, and he fouled out of the match. Then we went through. Both of us got beat by push car. We ended up in the B-side final. Or pardon me, I lost to push car. Went down to the B-side. B-side final. Marcio and I went again, and this time I fouled out of the match. But
It was just off Worlds, right?
this was at WAF Worlds, yeah. So we went 1-1, and then
I know the backstory to this.
then Marcio goes on to face
Push car?
Pushkar, yeah, and loses that match. So
I mean, there's zero shame in losing to Andre Pushkar.
No, so it was Pushkar, Marcio, and myself made up the top three that year. Walk off the stage. This is the story Jody's talking about, where they're doing drug testing. They're doing doping control on the side stage, which is, off topic, but I'll tell this story fast. And you sit down at a table, and there's 3 cards. And if you flip yours over, and it says a C on it for control, then you go and you do your drug test. Well, the guy administering the test leans over and he says, "We're trying to get Barbosa. Don't pick the one in the middle." So I picked the one on the right. I flipped it over. There's nothing on the card. Well, Pushkar goes next. He doesn't speak English. He flips over the middle one, and away he goes and gets tested. And
Poor Andre.
The good old WAF days, huh?
And I see him I remember it just like it was yesterday, him getting wheeled across the parking lot in a golf cart away to get drug tested. Just sitting on the back, just taking off.
Yeah.
Where was WAF at that year?
Man, I don't remember what year that was.
I heard a rumor that the World Championships will be in Canada here in the next few years.
That's a sore spot a little bit, just because I'm not sure if it's accurate or not.
Don't do that, Nathan. Don't do that. Don't get him all fired up.
Because it's not a Canadian. It's not as it has nothing to do with the Canadian Arm Wrestling Federation. It's this new upstart thing that formed Team Canada Arm Wrestling Federation. That is, this is a long story, but they're trying to get control of Canadian Arm Wrestling. They're the WAF affiliate, and they're trying to almost get this to gain control of Canadian Arm Wrestling. This is all they have, is this World Championship coming up. So there was talks back and forth, but the goalpost keeps moving because they keep moving it with us ever coming back together.
Yeah.
So will it happen? They say it is.
That would be. That would be great to have one in North America again.
It's a huge if, and you know how WAF is.
Yeah, I know.
They could change it 6 months
if
beforehand.
If it happens, it would be great for North American arm wrestling, in my opinion.
There's a lot of positives
right now.
There's a lot of positives with it. However, it comes with built-in negatives because it was done with an ulterior motive. So
it's not good from the U.S. side of it, Ryan. I'm gonna tell you why, and hear me out, Nathan. Because the fact that I don't even want to get into all this right now, but I'm gonna just say this and be done with it. If it does come to Canada, you'll see a lot more people from the U.S. side go to Unified Nationals. The problem with that is they don't fucking promote it. They don't. It's like a secret group chat.
You notice that's why I said I didn't say USA. I said North America. So
no, I completely disagree with you, Nathan. Like, it's Team Mexico will really like it, of course.
Well, yeah,
but even down there is dissent. Like, I would look forward to going and competing at WAF Worlds if we got to a point where WAF stopped messing with Canadian arm wrestlers and American arm wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
Fine. And just get rid of the bans. WAF will be the big dog in this for sure if they back off. But they're taking the wrong approach. And they're making sure that there's always going to be an alternative.
Well, until we hear more about that, I don't even give a crap about that because I want to talk about how Jocelyn Brachon shocked the world last weekend.
Yes, she did.
She did.
And like the best part, the thing I love about it is there's no doubts. They both had 3 very easy matches leading into that match. So they were both fresh, and there was literally no doubt on who the stronger person was that day.
Now she, rockets to the top of the rankings.
Yeah.
Like, it's you were talking earlier, Nathan, you said top 4, you think?
Top 4, yeah, I would think she's top 4 because number 1 is Barbora because she beat Gabby, right? Gabby beat Egla. And then Egla beat Sarah. So that puts her at number 4 and moves Sarah to number 5.
Jocelyn, of course, being number 1 in North America, hands down.
But she's still not quote unquote number 1 in Canada, which she's competing for this weekend.
There's another challenge to that. Sarah Wilson,
yes,
has traditionally gotten the best of her.
Yes, but
now
talking with her, she said that was a couple years ago that they competed last.
Okay, yes, but it still was heavily slanted one way, not the other. So there's a super match waiting to be booked there. Magda, are you out there? Jocelyn versus Sarah. Do it.
If she beats Heidi Cordner, then you have to, right?
Then it will be undisputed. Yeah.
But
I'm saying, then you put those 2 together.
It's Sarah and Jocelyn 1 and 1A in Canada, and then Heidi would be number 3. But
Heidi's number 1.
Well,
according to rankings in Canada, Heidi is number 1, Sarah Wilson's number 2, and Jocelyn is number 3.
Okay, yeah. So I get that. I think what will likely happen if Jocelyn wins, which I anticipate she will.
Then you have to put her and Sarah Wilson together.
I think Jocelyn would be number 1, but not undisputed. And then you got to put Sarah with her and clean that up.
Now, where is Sarah ranked in North America? Does anybody know?
No.
In the hook rankings, let me look this up. Go ahead. Keep talking, y'all.
Because, I mean, that to me is slightly appealing because obviously Jocelyn moves to number 1. Like, clear cut.
Yeah.
So,
Have you guys noticed
and, like,
a
like
shift?
the match to me was intriguing because we have the slip, right? Then they're in the strap. Sarah tries to top roll with Jocelyn and it just does not move center table. What?
This is how you know it hasn't been updated yet. So as I'm looking right now, 154 and over right hand North America, it goes Sarah, Bachman, Heidi, Sarah Wilson, Jocelyn is your top 4. So obviously it hasn't been updated yet.
Up till last weekend, that was probably accurate.
Right.
Now, you guys notice a bit of a shift lately? Like, and I'm not just talking in arm wrestling, I'm talking in sports in general, where women's sports seem to have had
Blown
a
up.
big spike in popularity.
Yes.
Yeah, love it. Especially after Caitlin Clark going to the WNBA. I mean, I know, like, so I can use this example. So the Dallas Sparks, I believe it is, the WNBA team here in Dallas, they played at a very small arena. Sorry, the Dallas Wings. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yeah, the Sparks in LA.
Yeah, sorry, it's Dallas Wings. They are actually moving them to a much larger stadium because they're already sold out for the whole year.
Wow. That's incredible.
So they go from a spot that's like maybe 3,000 seats to over 10,000.
I would agree because I was just down in Long Beach over the weekend, and on the campus they got this pyramid arena, and that's where the LA Sparks play. Now, when the Fever come into town with Caitlin Clark, those games are going to be moved to the Crypto.com arena where the Lakers play. So,
sorry, I called it Staples. My bad.
It's hey, you know what, Nathan? It's still Staples. I don't give a fuck with anybody. It's still Staples. Crypto my ass.
Well, I love it. Like Jocelyn's star obviously is like, we'll cover that when we do the other one, but like her star now is just massive, right? Like she's already been approached to go to the East vs. West Challenger Series, and I'm going to be very intrigued to see who they match her up with there.
Hashtag 315.
I don't even want to.
I mean, I don't know who you're going to put her up against in North America, right? You can't put her up against somebody in North America, especially if she beats Heidi and she beats Sarah Wilson. Who else do you put her against?
Well, I mean, she's got Heidi's no pushover. Let's face facts.
No. I'm saying
this is a dangerous match, and the thing that doesn't sit completely right with me is there's no title up for grabs on this one because they're compromised, or Jocelyn feels she isn't going to be fresh, that kind of stuff. I don't even think they should do it if that's the case.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I get what you're saying, Ryan, but they agreed to the match prior to the round robin, right?
Right.
And it was agreed then to be for the number 1 spot in Canada, not the number 1 spot in North America. So I can see it from that perspective. Fair.
But what happens if Heidi wins? There's going to be an asterisk there, and we're going to have to. Yeah.
You know what? Then, if Heidi wins this, now Sarah Wilson's kind of going, all right, which way do I go? I think the winner of this match has to pull Sarah to kind of, like Ryan said, clean up some of this.
Oh, I 100% agree. Like, if the winner of this match between Jocelyn and Heidi has to pull Sarah in Canada. Or do you make it at the East vs. West Challenger Series? That's another place it could happen, which would not be a bad spot.
That would be a great spot.
And that's June. That's June, right?
No, she's on the second one, not the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what else do we want to talk about with those girls? Because
we also have the 154 and under, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then Murder went undefeated.
Domination by Merlene, but there's a couple. There's some names out there that didn't make it that would have made it interesting too.
Well, Mosick wasn't there.
Yeah,
Mosick wasn't there.
Elizabeth wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
Alexandria, Miss Toprol wasn't there, and then what's her face that pulled Danielle at Knuckles Up? God, I forgot her name. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Poland.
Nadia,
she wasn't there. Now, had those 3 girls been there, we might be talking about a different person.
Oh, I don't disagree.
And I ain't taking anything away from Merlene, not at all. She did what she had to do. She showed up, One,
I was super impressed with Danielle too. After literally pulling it knuckles up the week before to go there and then put up a 9-2 record, super impressive.
well, you
And
want
then
my opinion?
what?
Because that match at Knuckles Up went the way it did, I don't think she burned herself out by any means.
No, I'm just saying it's impressive to go from okay, I just lost the super match 3-0 to going
Right.
into a round robin and clearing her mindset and going 9-2. And you also have to appreciate Lee Aaron, who is competing with girls much larger, much larger than her at 154. Because Lee Aaron's not a 54.
No.
She's a 35, 43 max.
Yeah.
So, like, kudos to her to go 9-2 as well.
So now we have another discretion. So if you watch Paul Italia's show, Arm Wrestling Buzz, last night, well, who were the guests on there? Who took center stage? As you guys talked about it, the ladies arm wrestling, right? So now Joshua was on the show. Merlene was on the show. And they both won their respective weight classes at the round robin. Now, you take Merlene basically saying, hey, I'm the number 154 puller here in the States. And I'm thinking, hey, there's some discrepancies with that because last I recall, she took a loss to the person who didn't show up. She wasn't there. So are you really, and even this is her words, not mine. These are her words. She was saying, hey, in my opinion, I think I'm the top 154 puller. If you disagree, whatever, come to South Carolina, come, prove me wrong or whatnot. Paraphrasing that part. Yeah. And she looked dominant. And there's always that, but, right? So you put it in as, okay, well, Alexandria wasn't there. Could you beat Alexandria? Could you beat Elizabeth? Well, you did head-to-head on one of the bigger stages, and you came up on the short end. I think Sarah won 3-1, was it not?
Elizabeth, you mean? Yeah, Elizabeth won 3-1.
Yeah, so, again, like I said, I'm not throwing no shade. I'm just throwing out facts, right? Yeah. Who knows?
There's a lot of unknowns in the 54 and under class, in my opinion, in North America.
Yeah.
The 55 and up, I don't think there's. I mean, based on the results that happened this weekend, obviously, it's pretty clear cut. If Jocelyn goes in and just steamrolls Heidi, then we know, okay, yeah. And then if she does the same thing to Sarah Wilson, yeah, there's no question who is number one unless her and Sarah Bachman have a super match, which definitely could happen. I could see that happening in the very near future.
Right.
But in order to settle the 54 debate, we're going to have some super matches. It's the only way to settle it at this point. And it's just who's going to go where and where's it going to happen at.
I think we're in a good spot. I mean, for the ladies arm wrestling, because there's nothing wrong but having a bunch of questions after some of these big events come and go. You kind of see what happens there, but it's always like, okay, here's the elephant in the room.
The thing I love too, I'm not trying to say, oh, Sarah's not a North American. Sarah's originally from Sweden. We all know that.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see a true North American face in the female spot in arm wrestling. You know what I mean?
Well,
Sarah's been the staple. Yes, Sarah's been the staple of female, arm wrestling in North America. And now Jocelyn just said, hey, here I am.
Bona fide North American.
Yes, a bona fide North American. That's the good way. Thank you, Joe.
Because again, like Nadia, she's from Poland, right? Okay, she resides here, but it's like, okay, who can be? I mean, even Alexandra is not from America, so
she's from Russia, right? I believe, yeah.
Right, Alex Topro's wife. So it's like, okay, you take those two. It's like, all right, you got Marlene, okay, but then hey. Not a lot of people talk about Elizabeth Mosaic for whatever reason, but she's done what she's had to do. She went to East vs. West, boom, did what she had to do. Went to Knuckles Up, boom, did what she had to do.
Here's the thing, too, like, for me, this is what's huge. Next weekend, we have Arizona State. We have arguably the best female arm wrestling team on the planet, the Swedish national team, coming to Arizona State. If you're one of the top women in North America, you need to be there. You need to test yourself and find out where you're at on that world stage. We saw Elizabeth versus Carolina. That was very, very, very one-sided. You know what I mean? Like, so Jocelyn's going to be there. I mean, Tim is paying her way to Arizona State after her performance.
Where's
And
Tim at?
I don't know, but apparently, I mean, Sarah Backman's going to be there. So we may see another Jocelyn-Sarah Backman match.
Who knows? With the ladies that are showing up, we could see a couple upsets where somebody else might put their name in a hat and get a,
100%.
You know.
But I'm saying, like, you know, if you're one of the top men in the United States, you know Giannis is going to be there. Tom Zrozitz is going to be there. Raymond Zantanovich is going to be there. You need to be there to test yourself if you can be. You know, if you're one of the ladies, you need to be there. Like, when are you ever going to get a chance to have these type of pullers in your backyard?
Right.
So,
what if we saw? I mean, and what is Carolina? What is her weight class again?
60,
You know?
60. She's 60 and 65 kilos. So 132 and 143, I believe that is.
Because what if we saw her and Leanne, and Leanne might be kind of light, but what if you saw them go at it?
They're the same weight class.
Oh, well, there you go. What if you see a Fear of Isaac and all of a sudden, Danielle catches her in one of those power hooks? Then what? Slows her down.
Yeah,
There could be some potential with this.
Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs. Danielle's going to be there. Let's not forget about Jolene. Jolene's going to be there, and Jolene will pull for freaking days.
Yes.
So, I'm excited to see all the women that show up for Arizona State and see what happens.
Is it in Phoenix or no?
It is in Phoenix. It's 10 minutes from the airport where everything's going down.
Well, there you go, Robin Chandler. There's your question. Where is it at? It's in Phoenix. There you go. Next
Literally,
Saturday.
the host hotel, there's a shuttle from the Phoenix International Airport that takes you straight to the host hotel for free. That runs 24 hours a day. And the venue is 5 minutes from the hotel. So,
Ooh, even got the address on there. Woo-hoo-hoo. This is big time. Just big time.
Yeah.
Oh, you got kids in the car?
yeah, my little one right there.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
You got to remember, I was in the Navy, so she's heard it all.
man.
Don't worry about it.
We're past the 15-minute mark.
No, you're good.
I think you
can
started at about 5 minutes.
You can
Jody.
say whatever you want. She doesn't care. She's heard it all.
Man. But yeah, so arm wrestling is awesome. So, man, I think
it's in a great spot right now in North America. After these ladies round robins, it's amazing right now.
And you know what? When we get done with this show, I'm gonna repost it on social media. I'm gonna say, ladies, check the show out because the first 15 to 20 minutes is all about y'all.
It is 100%, and they should be in the spotlight, right? I mean, there was a massive upset. Like, no matter how you want to put it, like Jocelyn beating Sarah. Like I said, I was the 0.1% that said I think Jocelyn's got it. 99.9% of other people are going, oh no, Sarah's gonna just walk through this.
Have you seen the amount of weight Jocelyn moves? Like, there's a reason why I put hashtag 315, because when I had her on my show last week, she's like, yeah, I bench press 315. I'm thinking, fuck, dude, that's more than me.
It's more than me. I think it's great. I love it. I love where the women's arm wrestling is at in North America right now. I love the fact that next weekend, ladies can come out and test themselves against the best female arm wrestling team in the world. I think it's an amazing thing that Tim's doing with that. I think it's a great time. Like, we're going to see a lot next weekend where a lot of North American women are.
Yes, Scott Evans. Shout out to the Utah Super Heavy. Yeah. Benji Max in the house. Welcome to the show. Wow. Can we shift gears? Can we let the cat out of the bag now? Because I believe last week somebody in the chat asked Ryan Espey, hey, what's up? You have a match coming up?
No, it wasn't us. No, remember, he hinted it to us. Nobody in the chat asked. He said, I may have something in the works that I can't talk about.
Well, it's been blasted now. You wanna let everybody know what's going on, Mr. Espey?
Which one are you talking about?
Come on,
Meta,
man.
What are we
from New Zealand?
What? What are we talking about?
Dude, seriously?
You're gonna be that way today, Ryan?
Yeah. Well, it's finalized now, which I was really surprised because during the High Five broadcast, Will said and announced that after certain matches, they already had the next opponents lined up for the winner.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my guy on September 7th was one of those guys named. So he is coming to Canada on September 7th. Meadow Orangi, Hannah Morris, is coming here to face me in a left-handed super match. And 1 week later, he'll be pulling a right-handed super match at the High Five, Knuckles Up 4.
Is he pulling
Yes.
Mendigus?
Was it Mindigus that got that match? I believe it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. I was hoping to see Mega Mike versus Mendigus. I'm not gonna lie, but
Well, I mean, you
to
might
me,
see
that's
that
a more
someday.
intriguing match. No, I just think that's a more intriguing match after the events that took place at. Well, but that's just my opinion.
So, Meta is coming here to Canada to face me in a left-handed match, and there's a lot of left-handed matches on this card. You got Pavlo versus Cody has been announced.
Yes,
that's a
Merritt and yes,
yeah, that's a really interesting match.
There you go, Scott. Just for you.
I think it's a very interesting match.
And all this will be the 7th, right? September 7th?
Yes, September 7th. Millions.co is the site that you can stream it on. I just had an interview with that guy.
Is this Carnegie's event?
No, it is not. It's Magda's event. It's Global Elite.
Man, Magda's just...
Oh, yeah, we need to touch base on that event this weekend. I forgot about that event.
The
MAC?
Yeah, with the table, with the new table.
I'm not sure I like that table, but that's just me.
Well, I pulled a little bit on it.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah,
it's big. Like it's a huge surface area. Like the elbow pads are huge. The theory is you can't do things like King's move on it. They're recessed instead of raised. It's supposed to cut down on elbow fouls because you
can't see them.
Can't see them, but you'd have to lift significantly for you to be able to pick one out. Now, my concern is that the rule sets are so different that and everyone's kind of doing this. They're changing up the rules enough to make them stand out. However, it's confusing.
Yeah,
well, I mean, here's the thing: you don't want to
on balls last night too, right? So
you don't want to reinvent the wheel too many times with tables and dimensions and stuff because there's so many promotions out there. And I'm not crapping on Ian's table, but if you get used to that, where you can kind of bunny hop if they can't see it, you're going to take that style somewhere else where they're going to count that because you got.
It comes back to Alan Fisher at Worlds, right?
Yeah.
Alan Fisher pulling at Worlds. He's used to pulling North America. He gets destroyed at Worlds because he's used to being able to foul. So,
well, we had a referee clinic at the provincial championships, and then we had 3 master level referees refereeing the next day. A lot of the competitors were unhappy with the reffing, and it became clear to me that they were so used to shitty refereeing that when they had good referees, they thought it was wrong or incorrect. So that's the risk you run when you just let anybody referee at your events. And that's kind of something we've run into a little bit in Manitoba, where the quality is drastically different from tournament to tournament. Although I think the new executive is trying to fix that now. Hey, Warren Colonel, thank you, buddy. Oh.
Whoops.
Oh. Yeah, Neil's in the house. Pick up. Welcome to the show, Neil. He's in the house. So,
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. With that, and like I said, you don't want to mess up too much of the sport because Because then all of a sudden you got different tables, and I've seen some different pin pads over the years and stuff, different heights over the years. And when you keep messing around with it, then it's like, okay, what are we doing here? You know?
Yeah. Scott made a comment here and it said, not all master refs are created equal. Scott, I will tell you, it was myself, Dave Knox, and Dave Hicks. So when they're not happy with that combo, God, I don't know what to tell you. Like, and we had level 3s or for us as downside refs.
Why they could leave Dave Hicks alone? What's wrong with y'all, man? Like,
My
Hicks
bad.
is an awesome ref.
My bad. I reconnected to Wi-Fi.
that's good. Welcome back. But again, I mean, like I said, this is not. I understand Carney's trying something different, trying a new federation. He's got a good looking match card, but you know, I've never pulled on this. I really can't say yay or nay.
It's the same thing with Knuckles Up, right? They were talking about it last night on Paul Italia's podcast about how setups were taking too long and X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, it's the same thing we talked about. Get rid of a foul. You can keep the false starts and ref scripts are warnings instead of fouls, but you need to get rid of a foul.
Yeah, you know what I don't agree with is if I were to suggest a rule tweak for them, stop giving warnings in referee's grip. If you can take six of them before you lose the match,
I agree.
then it loses the impact of having referee's grip at all.
Here's the thing, and I've seen this at the lower level and the higher level in tournament arm wrestling or super matches, whatever you take your pick, because the crowd has influenced the sport so much now, where it's like, oh man, let it go, let them pull. Well, we were growing up in the sport. When the ref says don't move, that's exactly what you did. You don't move.
That's
because
right.
we all knew, okay, if I move, I already got one foul and I haven't had it ready go yet, right? Which means you got one bullet in the chamber already, you know.
I think a lot of it too is people watching Devin. Devin's here. Don't move. Go.
Yeah.
Because I mean, is it to a point now where these athletes are like, and I don't want to use the word intimidating, but they are getting to a point where they are, you know, pretty much controlling the match, and the refs are just saying go.
Yeah.
Fuck that. The ref is in charge. Period. Bottom line. If they say you don't move, that's exactly what you do. You don't fucking move.
And when the referee's grip takes a long time to put on, it's because somebody is messing around.
Right. Then fucking foul. Hey,
yeah.
If you foul them, I bet they knock it off though. But because you won't foul them, you get warnings. They keep pushing. How far can I push this envelope?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ian's putting together a good super match card.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking that. But like you said, Jody, quit trying to reinvent the wheel, changing the rules and making this yada, 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 yada. Like,
I think there's, if I'm not mistaken, there's multiple rule sets in the same event.
What?
So I don't know. I got to watch it. I have to watch it to see what's up. But keeping it simple is generally a better idea. We'll see what happens.
For anybody that hasn't bought it, you can use Jocelyn's last name, Brisson.
It's Brisson, by the way. People was butchering it last night. It's not Brisson, it's Brisson.
Yeah. You put her last name in for the promo code, and money goes to help her out as well. So,
right, yeah. Ian was doing that for the athletes.
Yep.
So,
my word.
Yeah.
And then I had another thought, and I lost it for a second. Getting old in my old age. My word, what was it? It'll come to me. It'll come to me. It was about the rules and stuff.
Well, I mean, we're going all over the place here, but I don't know a lot about what Ian's doing. So I know the basics. I know there's a new table. I know that there's, a modified rule set.
Aren't the elbow pads bigger too on the inside?
Oh, they're like, I think they're 9x9.
Holy crap!
Like it's a big pad.
That's freedom, damn near.
Well, that's what he's calling it. It's like a hybrid between traditional and freedom. You have a much larger playing area. So
I hope no one gets hurt.
Well, I mean,
they're straight across pads too.
They are straight. There's no staggering because I mean, you have enough play area there that it doesn't really matter. And the surface area itself is just quite large. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I purchased the pay-per-view already. So
How much is the pay-per-view?
when I bought it, it was $14. If you use the promo code Brisson, BRISSON, you get $2 off, and then she gets $2 as well. So
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, I remember what it was. It was a post by Scott Wynn. He had posted the other day about, can we get Arm Wrestling United to where it's just one thing again? And I posted on a comment, in the perfect world, right? And we'll just use North America, for example. There's so many organizations where they got multiple weight classes. I said, look, man, my thought would be if we had just had the same weight classes straight across, right? That would make life that much easier.
Arm wrestling is never going to be fully united because there's always somebody that cannot get democratically elected to a position that will just do their own thing. You cannot tell me in Canada or the United States that the heads of these certain organizations would still be in their positions if they had to be under the scrutiny of an actual election to be in that position.
Probably.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah. It's
especially about the weight classes, Jody, because in reality, the people that hurts, it's not so much that it hurts the men. Like the men, we have a lot of weight classes, right? It hurts the women more than it hurts the men because you have 2 weight classes in North America for women, typically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not, in my opinion, like you have a 115-pound girl pulling a 150-pound girl. Like, that's a pretty significant weight gap.
Right.
So like for me, it hurts the women more than it hurts the men for sure.
Well, then you get into the other things like youth classes and stuff where you're allowing 16-year-old boys to pull 16-year-old girls, and at that point that shouldn't be a thing either. But
I agree.
There will be no universal. The United States came close to getting back together back when they had like the Triple Crown and the prizes offered up for that, and there was.
I mean, if you go to rules though, you have WAF and IFA are pretty much identical. Minus, I think King's Move terminology is the only thing that's different.
Weight classes are different too.
I said rules.
Oh, okay.
Not weight classes. But then in North America, you had WAL. So now we have 3 rule sets. AAA Nationals, 4. Who else am I missing? Yeah. Ian's now, that's 5. I'm sure we're missing you have UAL, 6. I mean.
High five.
7.
Global Elite.
Do you throw a Monster Factory in there?
Throw Monster Factory in there.
9.
Are the Texas things still going?
Texas does stuff, but they fall under the IFA WAF rule set. USAA, however you want to put it.
Yeah. Then you got
PAL, USAA. I'm at 11.
You got Bill Collins League too. The
UAL.
Yeah.
I said that one.
Fit to Fight, Stronghold.
NAP.
So let's say you're close to 20 different rule sets.
Oh, Travis is Travis's thing.
That's WAL. So there's like 20 rule sets in North America.
Yeah. And I don't know how you fix it. I don't know how you. There should be a definite rule set for amateur arm wrestling, and there should be whatever the pros are going to do, they're going to do. So
100%.
Amateur is all the way up to WAF championships or IFA championships, and they're pretty much universal. And the state championships should almost be governed by that, unless they're run by, somebody that's not running it quite like an amateur event. But
I agree.
The weight classes is a tricky one because there was nothing wrong with the WAF classes.
I love it. I prefer the 5 kilos gap.
Yeah.
Except up to 110, and then it's 100, 110, and then everything over 110.
Yeah, because the guy could be 250 pounds and he's pulling someone that's 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Sometimes that makes a difference, sometimes not.
I mean, weight class wise, we have too many of those too, in my opinion. Like every different promotion has different freaking weight classes.
That's what kills me. Because then you think, like for me, if I'm sitting at 235 this morning, right? Under UAL, I'm a super heavyweight. Under IFA, I'm just a heavyweight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When,
it's a big
when I
difference.
first entered into powerlifting, I was able to compete, even though I was significantly into the super heavyweight division of any arm wrestling organization. There were two options of lighter weight classes that I could compete in powerlifting.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was one that was capped at 275 and then one at like 300 pounds. And then it was over that. But
I forgot one.
What?
World Series of Arm Wrestling. That's a different set of weight classes.
And worlds.
Even the Ultimate Fighting Championship has a heavyweight limit of 265 pounds.
Yeah.
And then they do not,
266. You get 266.
you get a pound unless it's a title match.
And then it's 265. Yes, sir.
Yes. And then, but there is no super heavyweight division, mostly because they suck. Let's face it.
But I get what you're saying, though. Like, I think we need to figure out. I mean, it's never going to happen. But personally, I like the WAF weight classes. I like the every 5 kilos because for me, like cutting to 76 or 72, like 65 is a better weight class for me. I would much rather be at 75 kilos. So.
No, I get it.
And it's my thing. Like, if we can't agree on weight classes for men, that's one thing. But can we please add some weight classes for the ladies?
Yeah,
Like,
the two weight classes is kind of like, okay, if
I think up here we've started to have 3 in the smaller, even in the smaller events.
That's fine. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with having. You'll have the same amount of people turn out for your event. You may even have more.
Yeah,
theoretically, right? Like, okay, we only got 3 women in this division. That's fine, but there might be 3 women in this division. There might be 4 in this one, but now they're not having to. You don't have a however heavy versus a girl that's 105 pounds soaking wet,
because you can have a girl who's 165 pounds by what the rules state now. Guess what? Now you get to pull Jocelyn. Is that fucking fair?
Or your parent, Sarah Backman, right?
Right. Is that fair? They're already thinking, well, I'm 2 and out. Yeah, that's just the mind frame, the mindset at that point,
Yeah. I was thinking about the national championships coming up for Canada, which, by the way, is the only national championships currently. Now,
is that a dig at us?
That's not a dig. I knew you would take it as
a dig.
I'm only saying that because there's another organization that says they also represent arm wrestling in Canada, but they don't have a national championship.
Where's the knife?
Do not have one.
He just did this, Jody. He just gave us
There is one. There is one. And based on the turnout of arm wrestlers to their provincial championships, which we actually have an organized provincials to national system, we're probably looking at a couple of thousand competitors.
That's awesome.
At our nationals, because Quebec alone, where they're held, had 660 entries in their provincial championship.
I mean, that's not far off what Europeans just had. Europeans had over 1,000 entries.
We will for sure have over 1,000 entries.
I mean, that's competitive. That's competitive with Europeans, which is massive. That's one. You have one country, Canada, and you have however many other countries that make up the European nationals. That's massive.
And even though there's going to be over 1,000 competitors at our nationals, the World Arm Wrestling Federation will not provide me a letter saying that they will refrain from interfering with Canadians competing within Canada.
Here's the messed up part with all this, because and I know you were just when you said, hey, we have one, I get what you're saying, because I've been irritated for like I don't know how many years. The only reason why the 3 nationals we had was cool because of the Triple Crown. That was the only reason why it was cool. Now
we still have more than 3.
Yeah, right. So
we have PAL, IFA.
You got the IFA nationals, cool. It gets you the IFA Worlds. At least you know about it.
Then you have USAF, which gets you to WAF Worlds.
Okay, so again, like I said earlier in the show, they don't promote it.
No, it's very.
It's like a secret group. It's like going, how the fuck are you supposed to have a Team USA when you don't
for
promote
anybody? For anybody who wants to know, it's at the end of June. So.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, if it wasn't for Simon hooking up with James Reed and Paul Lynn, you wouldn't fucking hear about it. And then on the Canada side, y'all motherfuckers got to go to a different country to qualify for WAF World. What the fuck is that? Canada has to go all the way to fucking Mexico to qualify for a world title. What is this?
And not a cool place in Mexico either. Sorry,
Mexico.
It's not like it's in Cancun.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
It's in Mexico City.
My word. What are we doing here? There's my soapbox right there.
It's a good soapbox.
45 minutes into the show.
That's all right. Hey, we're almost a new record.
Yeah.
Jody getting through a show without we're 15 minutes from Jody getting out of a show without a soapbox.
Well, I was excited about the what happened with the women's division. So I was excited. But yeah, it's just like it's fucking stupid. Like, again, you want arm wrestling to get back to where it once was, how we all, the three of us and everybody in the chat, how it all started. And now, it's just getting so stupid. Everybody wants their own national. It's like, stop being, come on, man. Really?
One too many roosters in the head house. That's the problem. It really is. Like,
right. Like, you have to go to a different country in order to qualify for Worlds. Like,
not only do you have to go to a different country, you have to fly over top of a completely different country to get to that other country.
Even worse.
Which is why I've been saying next weekend at Arizona State, June 1st. That's the closest a lot of people are going to get to a world championship. Yeah. Think about it. Like, you have two of the best countries in the world showing up.
Yeah.
So, and you're going to have the Armenians there from California.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
I'm going to put it out there I've been chatting back and forth with another organization, that other organization in Canada. My request to them was simple. I said, we can talk about getting us back together and all being one unified group. I said, the only thing that I will require for that to begin is that WAF needs to write, and I was very clear on this, and the goalpost has moved again. The only thing I require to even start that conversation is WAF needs to agree that they will not mess with any arm wrestler in Canada until they get to the North American or world level. Meaning, Dan Plexman, he's in the chat. He goes and competes at the IFA. He gets banned from WAF.
Yep.
The only thing he should be able to not do is go to the WAF championships.
Yeah.
Meaning, everyone can still compete up to the nationals without any intervention from WAF.
I don't think that's terrible. I think that's logical.
That's a reasonable request because you can still go to your nationals, which there's only one. You can still qualify to go to a Worlds, but then you can choose. And they have no jurisdiction over any of the rest of it. Do you think I could get that goddamn letter?
I think
I'm not getting it.
I don't think that's crazy.
Months.
I like that.
Months I've been asking for this. It's not an unreasonable thing to do. It would allow Canada to still choose where they want to go and compete.
It would allow North America, the United States, to do the same thing.
The problem is that now you have the East versus West organization becoming involved with that process as well.
So basically, in this scenario, you guys are Charlie Brown and WAF is Lucy.
She keeps pulling the football.
Yeah. And, I talked to a couple people that said that's a pretty reasonable request. Let's get to work on that. And then gave me some watered down bullshit, only posted on Facebook, not on WAF letterhead, not signed by a Santa Murcha version of that. And the thing was, well, there's no IFA qualifiers in Canada, so no one has to worry. Like, yeah, no, that's not what I asked for.
Right.
So,
no, I think that's extremely reasonable. I mean, I would like to see that be a North American thing.
But that's not what they want. What they
I
want
understand.
They want power and control, and you don't get that by allowing freedom to people.
No, I definitely agree with what you're saying. Like but I'm just saying, like, as a unification, I would love to see anybody that wants to go to X national or Y national be free to do so, and then you be able to choose where you want to go afterwards. To me, that's great.
Well, first of all, who's to say that Waff Rose is coming back to Canada? They say that because remember,
I've never heard that.
USA got the nod for 2015.
I've heard it.
They took it from us.
I've heard it from some reliable sources. So
are they going to hold it? Because remember, we had it. United States had it, and they got snatched from us in 2015.
Didn't it also just get moved from somewhere to Moldova?
It was it was Africa. It was like Ghana, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I will not hold my breath, but the problem.
No, I mean, yeah, you can.
Now I travel in circles that allow me access to politicians in different provinces, and I go to these events and I hear that this organization is representing themselves as the only arm wrestling organization in Canada, and they're trying to get funding from these municipal groups that are in charge of bringing sport tourism. And, I have no choice but to set them straight. And now we have these fundraising tournaments coming up around the countryside, and one is happening in Saskatchewan. The problem is there's a lot of people in Saskatchewan that do not agree with this other organization. So they're doing a whole bunch of stuff. Like, they use that B word that I don't like to use. I don't even want to say it.
Ryan, where is Canadian Nationals at this year?
Gatineau, Quebec.
Gotcha. I remember you saying it, but I don't remember you saying
right
it.
Across the river from Ottawa. So you fly into Ottawa.
I'll come help you ref if you want. I got you.
Got to talk to Dave Knox. He's in charge of that, and I am committed to refereeing the entire thing.
Hey, I would ref the whole thing. I'm one of those guys that can go 12, 14 hours nonstop.
Yeah. I know. I will be doing that probably 2 days in a row because that tournament is going to be a monster.
Hey, I love it. I love seeing. I wish we had those in the United States. Like, I honestly do. But unfortunately, we won't. It's as simple as that.
I like collecting memorabilia. What do I have in here? The 25th WAF World Arm Wrestling Championships that took place in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, December 1st through 5th, 2003.
I remember it well.
Memorabilia, by the way. Yeah.
I've got that same logo, Jody, but it's on my gold medal.
Yeah, so this was
Jody. He just gave you. Jody. He just gave you another one of these.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, and I beat an American to get it.
But Jody, do you agree with me though? Like, you have the Canadian Nationals happening. They're going to have 1,000 competitors, let's say, at least. Why don't we have that in the United States? Like, you go to our nationals. Our nationals you're lucky to have 400 or 500.
Because I think, we're split for one, and two is because we just think differently. Because we as Americans, and I might be heat, this might get a lot of heat, but you know what? I don't give a shit because it's the fucking facts. TATF, these are the facts. Because we're so worried about the one-on-one aspect, where the new thing is now is super match arm wrestling.
It is,
right?
Yeah.
And some people ask, well, how come you don't have your heavy hitters for Team USA anymore? Our heavy hitters been there, done that. When they keep saying like
see, here's the thing though. No, they haven't. I mean, Travis, yes. Travis has Travis has been to WAF Worlds.
That's what I'm saying. They've been there, done that.
Has Michael Todd? I don't think he's ever been to WAF Worlds.
Yes, he has.
He has.
He's never won it, but he's been there lots.
Travis has won. Dave Champion won.
John Brzenk won left-handed.
Yeah,
Ron Bath won
that because it qualified him for a cash event. Yeah.
Yes. He had to go and pull left-handed to pull the right-handed cash event.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll just pull left and beat everybody. His brother Bill, didn't he win one too?
Yep.
Bill, yeah. And the weird thing is, man, that year in Japan that John won it. I believe Ron Bath got second and Devin got third.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of our top stars in North America right now, have never won a world title.
It's because now we're at the East versus West. This is where we're at right now. East versus West. And
I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's completely nothing wrong with that, where your top elites are trying to going to East versus West and making their money. Good on them. Kudos to you. Make your money. do your thing. But to me, the second tier guys are Mega Mikes, are BJ Fakak. I'm talking just super heavyweights. You know, and you can pick anybody.
Well,
That is
Wayne
our
will
second
go.
tier guy. Yeah, but he
Wayne
goes to
has
IFA.
gone to
He go, yeah, but he goes to IFA.
Well, it goes back to the question: how would you know about the unified if they don't promote it?
But I'm saying though, like a lot of our top guys, you know, like not our second tier, right? Our right below the elites, don't go to Worlds. They're just like, whatever. I'll go to my local little municipal tournament and pull twice a year, but I'm not willing to get out there. You know what I mean?
Well, that's, that was the path to greatness previously, going to the worlds and competing there. Still the hardest tournament in the world to win.
I still think it's the path to greatness.
Oh yeah, and Ron Bath, Ron won 3 golds in the same event. Yeah,
yes. I do. I still think for 99% of the pullers in Canada, Mexico, the United States, winning a world championship, whether it be WAF or IFA, should be their number one goal. And I just don't think they.
I don't think they see it that way because there's too much flash with the other ones. You never really hear about this, and it's the interesting thing about it is the European elites will still go to WAF.
Saunders. I'm using Saunders. Great example. Saunders 4 went. He didn't go to Europeans because he's still having a shoulder issue, but he's training right now for WAF Worlds. Saunders has pulled on East First West how many times? I think 5.
Yes.
And his priority is still to go win WAF Worlds.
Okay.
All the Turkish guys, the Kazakh guys,
Swedish girls.
But here's the thing: you said WAF Worlds. That's the connection. East First West and WAF Worlds are connected. See what I'm saying? They're connected.
But you can't. Corey Miller's pulled to East First West, and he goes to IFA.
Yeah.
So I mean, you really can't. I mean, we can still say, okay, this person's won IFA Worlds, and they've still competed East First West. Okay, yeah, cool.
Those countries we just named, though, I mean, those organizations are heavily involved in sporting and government.
Yes, they're also, they're backing their people. In North America, we don't have that.
Yeah,
no,
like we don't have, arm wrestling is not a state sponsored event here. Like, in North America, we have football, everything else, but like. If we could find some way to help these people get there, I know IFA does a thing where they give $1,000 to each person that wins to go to Worlds, which is awesome. That's a little bit of sponsorship and it helps.
But like you said, like 10, 15 years ago, it was about beating a person, beating that person to get that record, that to be recognized as, hey, look at Travis back in, was that 2003? Matter of fact, it was 2003 when he beat Alexei Bavoda. For that, It was about, he even tell you himself, it was about being the guy.
Yeah,
and when he beat him, it was like it sent shockwaves.
If not for pulling John and Alexei being there, Travis probably would not have come to that event.
I agree.
Well, remember, he didn't qualify. Dave DeVoto talked him into it.
Yeah,
because I think Christian Beanie was the representative for USA, left-handed in that class, if I'm not mistaken.
He was.
So Travis got talked into it by Dave DeVoto. Let's get history lesson, y'all. There you go.
Then he pulled right-handed, and by golly, it made Travis everything at that time.
I'll give you a little piece of tidbit of information. I also didn't qualify for the WAF championship that year. I missed the nationals, and Mike Gould gave me his spot.
Oh, you can do that?
Well, it has to be
the next one down.
There's a process, right? So it went through most of the guy. I was told they went through everybody, and everyone in the class said no. I'm not sure about the accuracy of that statement, but I was told they all said no. I was the defending WAF champion, and they got me in there, and I managed to repeat.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I know what you mean by that. 2017 unified, the only recent year to date we had one national. 2017, Reno, Nevada, and I'm pulling masters, and I took 3rd place, and it was the 100 kilo class, left hand. So Al Bound took 1st, Scott Partington took 2nd, I took 3rd. Now, of course, at that point, the top 2 qualified for Team USA. So I'm like on the outside looking in, made the podium, no big deal. But I didn't because there's no communication, because that's how USA is, right? Al Bound decided he also took first in Grandmasters. So his thought process is like, you know what? I'm not going to pull Masters. I'm going to pull Grandmasters, which left open spot. By process of elimination, it goes to the next person in line, which would have been me. No one told me that.
I think the closest thing we have to a nationals is what's going to take place in December. If you think about it.
Tennessee?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have 32 of everybody in each weight class competing against each other. I mean, 32 at every weight class, 54, 76, 98, 20, 42s and supers. 6 times 32, 12.
That's 30, a lot of people for that 13, small town of Tennessee.
192 people, something like that. Whatever it is. Oh, let's say 200 people, because you're gonna have ladies there too. So well over 200 people.
I believe left hand's going one day, right's the other day, or something like that.
So yeah, you're gonna have total 500 entries probably, at least.
Oh, most definitely. But there is like $100 buy-in, if I'm not mistaken.
So if you want to test,
you have to be in by July or whatever. But no, with the talent pool there, because Jerry's supposed to be there, but we don't know where he might be at by that time.
I don't think he'll be there. I mean, I know like Tom Holland's coming in. Giannis is committed. I think Bishop has. A lot of really big pullers have committed to it. So,
well, how can you call that a nationals?
Well, I said I understand, but I'm saying like you may only have like 1 or 2 people. You have one per weight. I think it's one. Like you have very few international people, and maybe it's like 1 or 2 per weight class. Yes, the caliber is going to be high. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Whereas, most of the time at these nationals or any big tournament, you don't have the caliber. And I think a lot of that personally comes down to having 0 payouts. I mean, think about back in the day when you had payouts, you had everybody showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if more tournaments started doing a payout, like let's say instead of charging $50, they charge $25, and however many people show up in that class, let's say 10 people show up in that class, well, the winner gets $250. Congratulations, winner take all. People are going to pull for it.
Yeah.
So I think we need to start, if we see payout events happening again, like good payout events, you'll see a lot more people starting to travel again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know like Texas State, for example, does $500 per arm, left and right, for each weight class.
Damn.
And you enter 3 weight classes, win all 3 weight classes left and right, you're walking out with $3,000.
That's a good weekend.
You have more stuff like that take place. I guarantee we see a lot more people start traveling.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah, you're right, because right now we're at a point in the sport where what's the old phrase, money talks? We're at that point now.
Yeah.
Because before, there were money tournaments before, but it wasn't that many as it is now. I think once UAL decided, hey, we're going to pay all this cash money out, and then Wall followed that up with even more money, and everybody, who participated got a bite of that apple. And now these other tournaments go, hey, we're going to give out $300. It's like, nah, it doesn't cover my weekend. We're at that point now, where before it wasn't about the money as much. It was about who was there, who can you beat. And then if you won the money, then it's like, hey, that's just apple cherry on top. But it's gotten to a point now, these big organizations who offer so much money and people cling on to that, you're going to do it for so long until it dissipates. Look at Robert Drake with UAL. Look at Steve Kaplan and Wall.
Well, which is why I said you charge a little bit more on your entry fee, and that money goes into that weight class's pot.
Right.
Right. So it's going to encourage more people to show up, in my opinion. I think it would, at least.
Yeah.
Like, hell, if I get 20 people in a weight class and $25 goes from each person goes into that pot, heck, that's a pretty good pot that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you guys, we've been on for an hour, and we never even got into
the event this weekend.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ian.
Well, we did talk about in a roundabout way, but everyone make sure.
Who wins? Okay, here we go. Who wins, Ryan? Heidi or Jocelyn?
Well, I mean The smart money's on Jocelyn after her performance last week.
That's who I'm betting on.
Yeah.
I'm betting on her.
I'm gonna say it's Jocelyn.
And this is Magda's event again?
No, this is Ian's event.
Ian's event. Okay, I get confused because now they got two big, leagues now. So
Yeah. You know what's refreshing? You got Global Elite, Magda's event. You got Ian's event, Mac, and you got the High Five are all kind of supporting each other and sharing each other's stuff and co-promoting.
Did we talk about the fact that
each other?
Well, no, I guess we didn't. That's no big deal.
Spit it out, Nathan. What do you got?
No, I don't know if it's been released publicly yet, so I'm not going to.
Oh,
hey, watch this. Sorry, chat. We're going to talk about this off the air.
yeah, you guys stay on once we go off because we gotta talk about this. But anyway, we'll unpack Ian's event next week. The good, the bad, the ugly, and we'll talk
Arizona State,
Plus,
State and King of the Table.
Well, we'll be talking about King of the Table next week, which is that's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hit like if you haven't already. And we'll be back next week sometime. And maybe Tim Talmadge will
join us.
Instead of just spitting out a time that works for him and altering our scheduling, he'll
Does
actually
he know
show
what-
up one of these times.
Does he remember what time zone he's in?
Yeah, I don't even think he knows what country he's in. What time is it?
Yeah, I was gonna say he travels so much.
He's probably mid-flight somewhere, and
Is he in Japan?
No,
Maybe.
he should be in Arizona right now.
I don't know anymore. Just
yeah, he's just going around in his private jet.
he'll be in Japan
Man.
one day, then Finland like later that afternoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Ireland, England,
Exactly.
Too big time. He's too big time.
Canada.
Yeah.
Canada. So long, everybody.